Well, we're only 4 games in, 5 points, which I suppose in the bigger scheme of things we'd like to have a lot more. I think everybody feels that we should have more as well, the way we've played, the amount of chances we've created, the way we control game. We got off to a flyer against Chelsea, and even though it flattered us, it was still a good win. We've missed 2 penalties in matches after that, and we've had chances to go and win games, and we've been in winning positions, which have been disappointing. But I do feel that it's better. I think everybody feels it's better. And I think the atmosphere from pre-season will tell me that it is better. So international break comes along and we start up again against Leicester, which will be a difficult game for us.
Obviously you're inside the club, so you get a good feeling of the atmosphere. Is it right back to where it should be now, or does it feel like it's a period of rebuilding at Manchester United?
Well, I mean, I was away pre-season. I got to say, the whole trip, the 8 or 9 days in Perth, a couple of games across there, into Singapore and on to Shanghai against decent opposition, into Milan and Spurs, and then down up in Norway and into Cardiff against AC Milan. I got to say the whole pre-season was very, very good. Training was very good, atmosphere was very good, and I think they took that into the season. And yeah, you could say like 5 points, a return where we felt we should have more, really, particularly with the performance we've had. But I still think there's a great atmosphere around, good positivity around the ground, good around the training ground, as there has been in the whole pre-season. Only 4 games in, so hopefully we can kick on from here. But I think it's been wholly a lot better, I really do.
And Ole's trying to mould his team as he sees fit, and he's brought a few players in. More importantly, probably to ship a few players out over the summer, just for the transfer window as well. How do you feel it's gone?
A bit of both, I've got to say. Pre-season, the 2 boys, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James, thought were fantastic and slotted in really well. Obviously bought Maguire just before the first game of the season, and you could near enough say they've been our 3 best players so far. And I know it's only early and all that, but they look 3 really good signings, real positive. I think we needed a real strong centre half. We've got that. Obviously needed a bit of pace as well. Got that in Daniel James on the wing. He played either wing, and it looks like Aaron has slotted in unbelievably well. So the 3 signings have been great. There was always going to be players going out. We've got a big squad, and I mean, 2 or 3 of them just happened recently when our deadline passed. So, but yeah, I still think there's things to be done. You could say we're in a stage where, it was Ollie's first pre-season, his first real opportunity to buy players. I think we've seen a lot of positives from that. January we'll see where we are from that, but obviously next close season's a big time for us as well. But I think we're taking steps in the right direction. I think we've seen that in the 4 games. It's just not materialised in the points that we've accumulated.
If a lot of people have said if there's an area Manchester United are lacking at the moment, especially looking at the players who've gone out, it's maybe a bit of experience and maybe a bit of leadership. I mean, you played in all the great teams under Sir Alex Ferguson. Do you think that's the one thing that they're missing and that could cost them the season? Yeah,
maybe so. We'll only find out going further on. What I do know is we've got young lads up there, and we've got a couple of young lads on the bench as well in Greenwood and Chong, who I think will play a lot of games this year. So it is going to be a young forward line. But if we keep creating the chances, keep creating as many chances as we do, and limiting the chances on the other side, we'll win more games than we lose, and obviously confidence will come on the back of that as well. We've lost experience in Romelu and Sanchez, who's gone out on loan. I think we have to accept that, but I still think we're in a fairly healthy state, I got to say that.
It's still early in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, but how do you think he's shaping up as a manager? Do you see any things he's picked up from Sir Alex in the way he handles himself, maybe with the media or with his players?
Well, I think he'll want to stamp his own style. I think he'll take a lot of things from working under Sir Alex. But I always think you should, when you become a manager, you should try to stamp your own style on the way your team wants to play and personalities within that team. And he took over, obviously, when we were distant 4th last year and nearly got us into a Champions League spot. We just unfortunately petered out the last couple of months of the season. As I said, pre-season was the first chance he's been able to stamp his style and the way he wants to play, and the pre-seasons was tougher this year, and and a lot of more matches, and I think you've seen that going forward. A lot of intensity, and yeah, I mean, it's already 4 games in. It's much too early to say in this stage of the season, but I think a lot of people within the club see a lot of positivity around the team, around the management and behind the scenes.
And it's certainly a rebuilding process, and Sir Alex was the master of that, as amongst many other things, of managing to shift players on and rebuild his teams while still being successful as well.
Yeah.
What do you think was the key to that? You mean, you must have played 3 or 4 different teams under Sir Alex that was still successful.
Well, it can't be easy, particularly in this day and age, to shift players on. I think that's harder probably than of years gone by. The expectancy is still there. Sir Alex was a master, as you said. He rebuilt 3, 4, 5 teams. You could say we're in a transitional mode at the moment with Ole, but as I said, I think the expectancy is still there. We need to improve on last year. We finished 6th last year. Champions League is a big thing. Whether we're good enough to challenge for first and second, I'm not quite sure on that, but we need to see improvement, and I think we've seen that already, and that's a step I think that the supporters will like. We need to stick more goals back in the back of the net when we control games and when chances come up. And I said we're only 4 games in, so we've plenty more to see, and there's a lot of games coming up. Europa League kicks in soon. We've got Rochdale and the Carabao Cup, so there's a lot of games coming up, so I think you see Ole utilise the squad as well, and as I said, you see a lot more of Greenwood and Chong in games to come.
And when you were playing for Sir Alex, did you get a sense of timing when he was about to make changes, and when maybe one team was coming to the end of its shelf life and he was about to start building another one? Did you get a sense in the dressing room?
No, not at all. I was just, stuff was a selfish thing. I just used to concentrate on myself and what was around me. I suppose it's up to the manager to look not just a year into the future, but 2, 3, 4 years into the future as well. See what he's got coming through the academy. See what players are getting to a certain age where you need to move them on. I think it's the manager and the staff will do that. As a player, I just concentrated on the present, I suppose, and the very near future. That's all you can deal with. But that's down to the manager, and I'm sure Ole, his coaching staff and the club will be looking forward in that respect. As I said, I think we've had a good close season in signing players, and I think they'll probably be already looking to the next 2 or 3 windows to rebuild even further. Listen, I don't think anybody was saying that this is going to be an easy job. I think patience is needed. There's no doubt about that. But as I said, going forward, I think although we've only accumulated 5 points, I think there's been a lot of positivity about us.
And a lot of new players now, when they join Manchester United, they're told to expect extra pressure on their shoulders right from the off, and it takes a certain type of player to play for Manchester United. When you joined Manchester United, was there a time when you thought maybe you couldn't play for Manchester United, or was there a certain instant where you thought, right, I'm at home here now, I deserve to be a Manchester United player?
No, not at all. No, I always had belief in my own ability. I think when you play it even more now, because everything's under the spotlight now with social media, how worldwide the Premier League is, the EPL as they call it abroad, how it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's rock star status at the, but it certainly feels much bigger than when I played, and you got to be able to handle that pressure. We're under pressure here. The players are under pressure here. They've played 4 games. Big game at home against Leicester, who've started particularly well and look a real tough side to beat. I think Brendan Rodgers has toughened them up a little bit, and they look a real good side, and I think they'll be challenging this year to break into the top 6. So that's a big challenge for us, and the players have got to be able to handle that pressure.
And obviously Sir Alex managed to cover generations of football and players. How do you think he managed today with increased social media and all the attention to detail and how rich the players are these days? I mean, he'd still probably be a great manager.
He'd be fine. He'd be brilliant. Listen, they asked me about all the old players, would they be able to play in this modern day of looking after yourself better, coaching methods, eating, drinking, resting properly. All the great players would be able to play in today's era. George Best or Bobby Charlton, players before my era, they'd all be brilliant now. And so were the managers. They'd obviously, Sir Alex was an old-fashioned manager in some ways, but he was also a forward-thinking manager. He used to brought all the sports science boys in. He always had really good coaches. He was before his time as well, and he'd be a fantastic manager now.
And obviously we're here with Remington today, so I've got to ask you if you were ever the recipient of the Alex Ferguson hairdryer in your time in the dressing room?
Yes. It didn't happen as often as what people think. Otherwise, I don't think it'd have the same effect. Listen, Sir Alex just wanted the very best out of his players. I think that's the main aim for his manager, to get best out of players, and players with different temperaments, different personalities, and whether some need an arm around the shoulder or would some players need a clip around the ear. I think Sir Alex was great at recognising that. So there wasn't too many players who went by without a little rollicking in the dressing room. But
what was the worst one you got? What did you do?
Well, I can't really say on camera. There wasn't too many, I got to say that. You know what I mean? There wasn't too many anyway. I think it was just.
Do you remember what you did to deserve it?
I probably fell below my standards, and it could happen when you were 2-0 up in a game and cruising, and you were sloppy in things that you shouldn't be sloppy in. And he used to accept that everybody makes mistakes, but sometimes when your standards dropped, he'll be quick to remind you. And that's you could call that old-fashioned if you want. You could say that maybe that doesn't happen anymore in the modern era and all that, but he would have been a great manager now.
Do you remember what game maybe the team got a collective one for?
Plenty. I can't remember in general, but I'm sure there's plenty. We lost games. Even when we won league titles, we lost 5-0 up at Newcastle one year, and I think got beat 6-3 down at Southampton the following week, but still won the league. It happens in football. You go through periods where you don't play particularly well, and you need your characters in around you. You need your strong personalities in that dressing room. As I said, that's what Sir Alex was really good at recognising and getting the best of every player as much as possible. He wanted players to improve, to learn to improve, not to stand still. And if you did that, he was fine, and he worked your socks off.
Now, obviously, Dennis, not many people know more about playing full-back than you, but today, the modern-day full-back is basically one of the attacking strengths of the team. You look at Liverpool, Manchester City. Yeah. How has that changed to come these days, that the full-backs are now probably the most offensive players in the team, almost?
Yeah, I think when you play for a top club that are going to be on the ball a lot, you got to be very comfortable on the ball. I mean, first and foremost, in my day, you had to be a defender. You got to be able to defend, because you always came up against wingers. A bit different this day and age with particularly one holding player, sometimes even two holding players in midfield. Wingers who don't really play as wingers now and like tend to come in an awful lot. So you got to be able to be athletic is the first thing, and very comfortable on the ball and be able to join in. And it's different. There's a different avenue of attacking rather than going down through the middle. So I think you see fullbacks now. 50 million is the norm now, and I think you're going to see that in general, and probably rising from there. They still got to be able to defend, first and foremost, because I think that's your job. But certainly they're encouraged to go forward a lot more, and they're a vital part of an attacking force now. The modern day fullback has to be able to run, has to be able to go forward, has to be able to cross, and even now and again has to be able to contribute in the goal scoring stake. So it's all good to see.
You used to get plenty forward yourself, so you'd fancy playing in this day and age, given that you'd be given the ball a lot more, being told to get down there?
No, listen, I enjoyed my time. I played with some tremendous players at Manchester United. I had Ryan Giggs outside me for the best part of 10-11 years. I hope he appreciated the amount of support I gave him going forward, because going the other way, he really helped me out. But yeah, I had my time. I enjoy watching football now, and the game's changed. You got to say that. But as I said before, great players of past would be able to certainly play now.
Obviously, just finally, you've had so many memories playing for Manchester United. Is there one that sticks out more than all the rest? Maybe it mightn't be one that people expect, but one that really, when you think about playing for Manchester United, the one that pops up the most?
Everybody remembers '99. The manner we won the treble, obviously beating Bayern Munich at the Nou Camp, but first year we won the Premier League here in '92-93. I think it was a huge weight off the club's shoulders. The night where we came here and played Blackburn, when we'd already won it because Oldham had done us a favour and beaten Aston Villa. That was a huge night, great night. I think it's one of relief after what happened the year before. And as I said, United had been a cup team in the 80s. When I came here, 1990 FA Cup, 91 Cup Winners' Cup against Barcelona, 92 League Cup against Forest. We needed that first title. Fans were desperate for it, the players were desperate for it, the whole club were desperate for it. And I think that was a huge moment, and it was a great night to be here, it really was. And we won, which was quite surprising after the night we had before that, but it was a joyous occasion.